Welcome friends for online session, class 10th, subject biology, how do organism reproduce. So this is part 3 we are going to discuss today, and I am GR Chopade. Introduction about the chapter. We know that reproduction is the process by which living organisms produce the new individuals which are similar to themselves but not identical. So reproduction, we know that it ensures the continuity of life on Earth. Single cell organism use different types of asexual mode of reproduction. Multicellular organism use both asexual as well as sexual mode of reproduction. We have discussed in plant also how they will reproduce. It is depend on the environment. It is depend on the involvement of two individuals before a new generation created. So reproducing organisms create new individuals that look very much like themselves, similar. Then what is the significance of a sexual mode of reproduction? How it takes place in human beings, already we have studied in the plants. Now, sexual reproduction. When reproduction takes place as a result of the fusion between the two gametes, one from the each parent. So this process of fusion between two gametes is called fertilization. Sexual reproduction incorporate combining the DNA from two different individuals. So due to that, there is a genetic recombination and that leads to variation. Now, how reproduction in human beings takes place? We know humans are unisexual, so they use sexual mode of reproduction. Our body change as we become older, elder. So what are the general process of growth we have seen in higher lower classes? Our height increases, our weight increases, we acquire teeth, even we lose the old one and that is milk teeth, and acquire the new one, that is permanent teeth. Body become larger. Okay, then we get a teenage years. During that, the new set of changes occur. So this is common. So we can divide our different stages into infancy, then childhood, adolescence, adulthood, okay, then aging. So this is the different stages of our life. And the age of 10 to 11 till 18 to 19 years is referred as, that is, adolescence period. So the time period when changes occur in human and make them capable of reproduction is called as puberty. Sexual maturation of the body is also referred as puberty. So the rate of a general body growth that begins to slow down and the reproductive tissue begin to mature, वो function करना शुरू कर देते हैं, reproductive tissues. So the proportion of body change, the new sensation occurs in our body. So what are the changes which are common to both boys and girls? First, during puberty, thick hair grow in axial or armpits and pubic area. Thinner hair appear on legs and arms as well as on the face. The skin frequently becomes oily and we might begin to develop pimples. Then what are the differences in male and female? In girls, breast size increases, high pitch voice, begin to menstruate, that is monthly cycle begins. In boys, thick hair on the face in boys, that is mustache and beard appear, deep voice and begin to crack. The voice will crack here. And the external organ penis occasionally become enlarged and erect. So these are differences which are found during the puberty in girls and in boys. Now just to see the story of our baby that begins from the
Your
parents.
due date is calculated from the first day of your last menstrual period. Conception occurs about 2 weeks from this day, and that's when you're truly considered to be pregnant. During a menstrual cycle, one of your 2 ovaries matures an egg within a follicle. Hormonal surges controlled by your brain then cause 1 and occasionally 2 follicles to release an egg.
So this is ovary. Now here the follicle or egg is released. That is ovulation.
Both ovaries release an egg. You may have non-identical twins, also known as fraternal twins. Long, finger-like projections sweep the egg into the fallopian tube. The egg travels down the fallopian tube, pushed by tiny hairs, and awaits the arrival of sperm. About a teaspoon's worth of semen enters the vagina, containing...
Here you can see there are a semen or a sperm. Now they will enter here. Egg is here.
Roughly 300 million sperm. Less than 100,000 will pass into the cervix to begin their 6-inch journey to the egg. A long whip-like tail propels each sperm toward the waiting egg. Most sperm will lose their way. Only about 200 sperm successfully reach the egg. Fertilization occurs when 1 sperm penetrates the egg, combining their genetic material.
Only 1 sperm will fertilize 1 egg. That is monospermy. And then the genetic material of male and female will combine.
Sperm and egg each contain 23 chromosomes holding all of the information that determines your child's sex and contributes to the child's genetic makeup, including physical appearance, intelligence, and personality. It's a boy or a girl. You just don't know which yet. Within 24 hours of fertilization, the egg, now called a zygote, divides into 2 cells.
The zygote will now divide and become 2 cells, and the process will continue.
The number of cells doubles about every 12 hours as the zygote continues its trek to the uterus. During this early stage, if the cells split into 2 separate groups, instead of remaining attached, you'll be doubly blessed with identical twins. About 3 days after fertilization, the zygote has become a ball of 32 cells resembling a miniature raspberry. A few days later, it reaches the uterus as a ball of roughly 500 cells surrounding a fluid-filled cavity. On day 7, the ball of cells burrows into the uterine wall during a process called implantation. Many women have implantation bleeding or spotting at this time, which occurs about 21 days after a period, before a pregnancy test could even be positive. The cells on the outside of the ball create the yolk sac and the placenta, which nourishes your developing baby. By 38 weeks, the fertilized egg has grown into an infant with more than 2 trillion cells.
So this is how the birth of baby journey takes place. Now, to understand, let us know the male reproductive system. Male reproductive system consists of testes which are located outside the abdomen in a scrotum that will helps to maintain the body temperature. Then these testes are connected with a long duct called vasa differentia here, and during that vasa differentia it will get connected with the seminal vesicle, they are gland, and then prostatic gland, and then also there is a bulbourethral gland. Then it will become a common passage that is called urethra, because it carry both urine from the urinary bladder and the semen from these accessory glands that will pass through an external organ called penis. So these are the reproductive parts of male reproductive system. Yeah, in another view, you can see inside the testis, there are testicular lobules. They join to form rete testis. They then join to form vasa efferentia, and then they will form a epididymis. So this epididymis will grow as a vasa difference. Then they will unite here both. Then here the seminal vesicle, prostate gland, then bulbourethral gland, urethra, and then penis. Penis covered with a glans penis and foreskin. Testes. So these are located outside the abdominal cavity in a scrotum or scrotal sac, because the sperm formation in the testis require lower body temperature than the normal body temperature. So therefore, the position will go on changing, depends upon the environmental temperature. Another function of testis, along with the formation of sperm, they secrete a male hormone called testosterone. So this testosterone regulate the formation of sperm, bring about changes in appearance, what we have discussed in adolescence period in boys at the time of puberty. So these are the roles of testosterone and the function of testis. Then vasa difference, it is a sperm duct formed of or delivered through the vasa difference, which unites with a tube coming from the urinary bladder. Then urethra, a common passage for both the sperm and the urine. Penis is an external muscular organ which helps to transfer the sperms into the female body. So there are glands called prostate gland, seminal vesicle, and bulbourethral. So these glands together secretes a liquid that is called seminal, semen. Seminal vesicles secrete their secretion in ejaculatory duct, whereas the prostate gland, corpus gland secrete the secretion in urinogenital tract, that is urethra. So semen is form of a sperm, that is secretion of testes and secretion of these glands. So this is the mixture of all these glands. It provides nutrition to the sperm and make the easier transport of sperm. That is the role of semen. Semen is ejaculated out through a penis, that is urethra. So male reproductive system that produce a gamete called a sperm. See, that's consist. They're very small in size, single cell. Each has a head, then a middle piece and tail. So head consists mainly a genetic material, that is DNA, half the number of chromosomes. It carries 23 chromosomes. Middle piece, it is rich in mitochondria and that provide energy, and the long tail in sperm helps to move towards the female germ cell. This is about the male reproductive system. Now female reproductive system, which consists, this diagram you draw from your textbook. Ovary, two ovaries are there, left and right. Then fallopian tube, two or oviduct. Then a single uterus. You can see the inner lining is there, which is shown in different color. That is endometrium, and cervix, a opening to the vagina. That is a birth canal. Or detail you can see here. So vagina, cervical canal, cervix. This is the uterus, which is made of perimetrium, myometrium, that is smooth muscles, endometrium, that is a glandular. It will form and degenerate every month, which is shown in different color. Then here ovary, two sides which are get attached to the body through ligament. Then fallopian tube is divided into a finger-like structure called fimbriae, a funnel-like structure infundibulum, ampulla, then isthmus. And this is uterine cavity, uterine fundus and the body. Ovaries. Two ovaries present inside the abdomen. Testis outside, a inside. Ovaries produce a female germ cell or egg. Ovaries produce a female germ cell or eggs and production of again female hormones, that is estrogen and progesterone. So young are produced when a girl is born. The ovaries already contain thousands of immature eggs. So on reaching puberty, some of these start maturing, and one egg is produced every month by one of the ovary alternately. Fallopian tube, the main function, it carries egg from the ovary to the womb, and also it is a place for fertilization. इधर ही fertilization होता है. Uterus, two oviducts unite into the elastic bag-like structure. That is womb, in which the embryo develops. Okay, remain at least for 9 months. Vagina, the uterus opens into a tubular structure through a cervical canal, a cervix. It is also referred as a birth canal because the birth of the baby takes place through this vagina. Now, gamete formation. In both male and female, the gametes are produced. That is, sperm is the male gamete and ovum is the female gamete. They are produced by meiosis because they carry half the number of chromosomes. Sperms are produced in testes of men from beginning of maturation, that is puberty, till the death. But in case of women, so they produce at the time of birth, and there are 2 to 4 million immature oocytes in the ovary of a female fetus at the time of birth. But an oocyte matures and is released from the ovary every month at puberty up to the age of what we call menopause, that is around 45 years of age, 45 to 50. So this is a egg, these are sperm, again carry 23 chromosomes, fused to form zygote. Zygote carry again 46 chromosomes, then it will develop into embryo. So here menopause is the stoppage of functioning of female reproductive system, and no egg will be produced. So that is called as menopause. So what is fertilization? That is formation of zygote by the fusion of sperm and ovum that takes place in fallopian tube, and that is called fertilization. The sperm enter through the vaginal passage during the sexual intercourse, travel upward and reach the oviduct and encounter if the egg is present. Then fuse and produce a zygote. So zygote is diploid. You can see here ovum surrounded by many sperm. So one sperm will get entered and release the egg, and this is fusing nuclei. You can see in this animation, from here the sperm is entering and here there is a ova. So both will fuse and here the implantation takes place in the uterus. Zygote. The fertilized egg, now called zygote, start dividing and form a ball of cells called embryo. Embryo is implanted in the inner lining of the uterus, that is endometrium, where they continue to grow and develop organs to become a fetus. You can see here ovulation. So here the ova comes. During that, if the sperm is present, they will get fused. See, then zygote, it will undergo 2-cell division, then many cells, and here it will get implanted in the uterine wall on the inner side of the uterus. Just to see the video. See, there is an unfertilized egg now in the ovary. So this is ovulation. Now the sperms are coming from this side. The egg is get fertilized. This is called fertilized egg. That is zygote. That division takes place 2 cell, 4 cell, 8 cell, 16 cell, 32 cell stage. That is called blastocyst. Now it is fixed in the uterus. See how it is called. It is implantation. The implant placenta is produced, and then this will slowly develop into embryo. See, heart will develop, limbs will develop, the full developed baby, 4-week, rudimentary eye, the embryo ear, then these are legs, hands, then genital differentiation, male and female, only single cell zygote become a fully developed baby, and it is ready to be born after a 9 month 10 days, or we are calculated around 40 weeks. So these are what a different stages we have seen now. 40 weeks. So what we have studied, sexual reproduction involves the two individuals for the creation of a new individual. Modes of sexual reproduction allow for a greater variations to be generated. In human beings, sexual mode of reproduction is common. So changes in the body at a puberty, such as increase in breast size in girls, new facial hairs growth in boys, all these are the signs of sexual maturation. Male reproductive system in human being consists testes, which produce sperm, and vasa deferens, seminal vesicle, prostate gland, urethra, and penis. The female reproductive system in human beings consists of ovaries, fallopian tube, uterus, yeah, vagina. Then sexual reproduction in human beings involve the introduction of sperm in the vagina of the female. Fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube, result in formation of a zygote. The fertilized egg start dividing and form a ball of cells called embryo. The embryo is implanted in the lining of the uterus, where they continue to grow and develop organs to become a fetus. Okay, so this is about the third session. So we'll meet next time for the fourth session to study the continue process.